All right, just giving a little moon day update. And today, I'm going to do room pulls later on, and that may only end up being on my Patreon. It's kind of what I'm here to do, and keep to shorter little things. So here, a shorter little thing, and I just ran, so a little out of breath. The rain's maybe about to fall. I kind of hope it does. This right here, I mean, it just looks like a stump, right? And there's some apples on it. I've turned this stump, just by intention, into an altar. And I've brought my offering today. One apple that did not make it, and 5 others. You can see I've put it in made a bit of a pentagram shape out of the offering, because that's what seemed right to me, and the numbers are right, and this is all just intuition, right? This isn't something I read in a book or somebody told me how to do or taught me how to do. And today, this is it's a consecration of this altar. It's the first time that I've used it. I've been living in the place where this tree stump is for some time, but have not made use of it in this way, though I knew it was coming. There's the rain, a little. But in any case, this is not about learning it or knowing it or being told that I'm going to start walking inside. So goodbye to the altar. But what it is really, it's just following your own intentions, right? Following the impulse in you. I'm specifically also releasing something today by offering something on this altar. I've decided to release something, and I know what that is. Obviously, I'm not going to talk about it. And sometimes, this is what's coming through to say is, sometimes when we release, it's not just a one-time thing, right? Sometimes it's a thing that happens in stages. It's gonna stop raining. I didn't know how heavy it was gonna get. So in any case, we'll just come give Freya a visit. My Freya altar. It's loud here. The garbage truck is coming through. It's okay. Spirit says take a breath, Jared. Take a breath. But in any case, have your intention and have that in mind. And a really important thing when releasing is that after you do that releasing is to really forget it. I mean, just put the thing out of your mind. There's kind of a brutal way this gets demonstrated in a lot of stories. Typically it's like a father talking to a son or a daughter who's disappointed them, right? And they're like, you are dead to me, I think, my probably my not favorite instance of this, because it's awful, but there's also some sweetness in it, is from Fiddler on the Roof. But in any case, actually not that kind of forgetting, because I don't think that was really the same thing. But in any case, when you release something, when you give something up, just really commit to that. It's gone. Like, it's already done. Again, on the internet, you're going to find a lot of things, a lot of little prayers and poems and, so-called spells. Like, the spell is your own intention. The spell is the energy coming out of you. The thing that you do, whether it's speaking words or a rhyme or leaving apples, on a tree stump and calling that an altar, that comes out of you. It comes out of me. That's what makes it work. See, we live in the 3D. We live in this physical realm. So something has to change. Something has to take place. Not because that's actually necessary, but in order to trick our own minds, our own hearts, our own beings into going, okay, yeah, this thing happened, even though I can't see it right now, even though I can't maybe feel it right now. I've made this thing happen by my intention to make it happen. That's the magic. Okay? So yeah, release things that need to be released. Sometimes we don't know when something needs to be released. Sometimes it's a struggle for a while, and that's okay too. I really also urge you, like, don't just do releasing rituals left and right and all over the place constantly, as if, and then also, like, the point here is not to make a little bubble of yourself that nothing can touch. Like, that's not healthy. Okay, we need a bubble where we're aware of the bubble and we're aware of what we're letting in, and we're being conscious at times about what we're saying. No, this doesn't belong in my bubble anymore. And then we pick it up, we take it, and we drop it outside our bubble. That's not mine anymore. And we just literally forget it. And it's not a constant, probably necessarily on at least a big scale, everyday thing, right? Sometimes we have to struggle with something for a while, and that actually is teaching us something, and that's okay. And then when you know it's time, and you let it go. And you just really let it go. It's the old cold turkey, right? If you think about it, if you're wrestling around a cold turkey with you everywhere you go, that's probably pretty gross. So, when you drop something cold turkey, it's literally because why do I want to carry that around with me? And you decide, like, it's not for me anymore. I'm not carrying that around anymore. I'm dropping it. And then it's not something you have to necessarily work at. When you get to that point, you're ready to release it. It's gonna go. So, the ritual that you attach to it, that's to give yourself permission to be like, okay, yeah, I'm done with that. All right? That's gone. Another aspect, a final aspect I'm being urged to talk about with this, this idea of having an altar. I think it's really great to have an outdoor space of some kind that this is my altar to the quote-unquote natural space around me, right? Even if you live in the middle of a city, this can be any little green patch, any little tree stump, any little bit of something. And I highly encourage you, actually, that, like, you might think it should be like the most lovely flowering place, but actually sometimes the best places for these are tree stumps, or places where there's something that's kind of dead or tangled or overgrown or whatever. Because that's where the fairies live. That's where the little critters live. That's where the birds come. And so that's what you're trying to get in touch with, okay? At least that's what I'm trying to get in touch with. So if you want to try these types of practices out for yourself, look for that. And it's gonna put you more in touch with, like, okay, what's here around me? Leave a little food out for the critters. I pour libations typically once a month. I keep water that I put out in the full moon. I think I mentioned this in a previous video, but I never quite explained it all. You just put, and this isn't from me, this is something I found. I had an impulse of something like this, and then looked up on the internet, and then it was like, oh yeah, this is the thing, that people have done for, ages, lifetimes and lifetimes and lifetimes. Put some water out in a glass, and something that you can seal or not seal. It really doesn't matter. It's going to get interesting over the course of a lunar month, but that's fine. That's also instructive. So for me, I will leave that water out in the moonlight. And then very often, pretty much always, I will add something to the water, the next morning. And just in the main, day or night where it is the full moon. That is the night where the moon is going to be at its strongest, that you want to try to do this. But if you don't quite hit that and it's a night before or a night after, that's fine. Again, it's all intentions. It's all intentions, right? And in fact, if it happens to be a day early or a day later, that's probably going to matter in some way that you're going to discover that's going to be awesome for you. So go with things. And then you're leaving that water out, and if it's open to the air, that can be interesting. I've done that before, and typically will add a few flower petals every day. A little bit of dried flowers, kind of almost like you're doing incense or potpourri. It's going to get a little interesting over the course of a month, and that's fine. You might end up with some stuff growing in there, and that's fine. Because remember, this is lunar energy, and that's about life, death, rebirth. It's about things composting. It's about things going to seed. It's about something sprouting up where you didn't even realize it had ever been planted, or maybe you forgot it had. So that's what these energies are all about. And then a month later, so also on the full moon, I will pour those waters out in a place sacred to me. I really like to do it like I would do it on that stump there. That is a perfect spot for me. I have other spots. This could be a spot even, depending on what energies I'm wanting to work with. And that's really it, So I think that's all for today. Try and keep these a little briefer, and again, intending to move more of my ritual type things over onto Patreon. And if you find those helpful to you, I will put some clips up of those things, but the full rituals I think are going to be moving to Patreon, where if I can get a little support, if people find them useful at all, then maybe I'll start doing a little bit more editing, and some edited versions of these things then can come back out into the wild. So thinking that's how we're going here, and that's what I'm kind of getting from spirit, if you will, if this is what I need to do. So thank you for those who've been watching. Appreciate any comments. If anything's been helpful to you, appreciate just hearing about those things. If you have things to add, go ahead and add to the comments. I'm not some kind of expert, right? I am an intuitive practitioner, and for me it's all about the practices. It's not about drawing these things up or writing them up, and there's this way to do it and no other way, and yada yada yada. It's all about what energies are you tapping into? Are you tapping into the positivity? Are you dealing with the negativity, and so on, in the positive ways, because that's what we need in order to make things better in our own personal worlds and the world at large. So go out looking for those positive things, even in the news and things. Be looking out. There's little tiny things. If you look for them, there are little tiny things happening. I guarantee it. I'm seeing them. I know there's a lot of things that look negative, but there's some good stuff out there happening too, and be on the lookout for it. The world is not so awful, okay? And we need to keep that in mind. In fact, the world's pretty freaking amazing. All right, love y'all. Much love, much peace, all the light you can stand. I'm sending it your way right now.